Dear Santa, where are you? And why aren't you answering any of my calls?
You're not with that Mrs. Claus again, are you?
Well, either way, I was hoping you might be able to find it in your big, jolly heart to grant me just one wish this Christmas.
I wish that David and I could go back to filming in-person videos.
Ho ho ho!
Oh, hey disembodied floating head of Santa.
Ho ho ho! Hello, Nick!
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at the North Pole getting ready for Christmas or something?
Well, why do you think I keep all of those elves around? Free labor, am I right? Well, that and Amazon.
Wait, you have Jeff Bezos working for you?
Well, it is a heavy load off of my jolly sack, that's for sure.
Well, Santa, can you do it? Can you grant my wish?
Nick, we both know that I can't do that. You and David are both growing up into fine, upstanding citizens who each lead their own busy lives and are just trying the best they can every day. Yet you're still able to make time for each other despite the odds against you. Now isn't that the best Christmas gift of all?
You know what, Santa? I think you're right. Hey, can I make one change to my wish?
You got it! Ho ho ho!
Victor Wooten, am I a better bass player than you? Goddamn right you are. You're a savage. Hello?
Merry Christmas, buddy. I hope you got what you wanted. Not that it's an issue or anything, or that I'm jealous, but all I got was this already used Burt's Bees.
Santa needs his glasses. To the best podcast co-host a guy could ask for. From Papa S. Oh shit! A microphone stand!
You know, as great as this Christmas has been, I could really go for a Sprite Cranberry.
Where the hell did you get that?
The North Pole.
Really?
Yeah.
Just airdropped you Sprite?
Stop asking questions.
That's... Well, check this out. Oh, look what Santa gave me. It's a brand new mic stand. Ooh. Contraption or whatever.
Yeah, people...
I was actually really worried because my cord is still really tiny. But
yeah.
Like I can still just put it right here and it's fine.
Hell yeah. Yeah, to those of you listening, David got a new mic stand for his
Yeah,
desk.
and check this out. A Calcifer Christmas sweater. It's my only Christmas sweater I have.
Yeah, and a UA plus Ultra Christmas sweater. I think it is the only Christmas sweater that... No, wait. Yeah, actually, I had one that wasn't even technically a Christmas sweater that had a penguin on it that was made of like red and white. It was okay. Not as good as this one, because this one is actually like red and green, which is Christmas colors.
Yeah, bro, you got the green, I got the red. We're stacked over here.
We are living the Christmas dream, so to speak.
Anyway, Nick, I got a question for you.
What is it now?
What's 9 plus 10?
I mean, it's obvious. It's well, okay. So you take the 2 and you move that over, and you scratch that, and then you get 19.
Welcome to episode 21 of the Too Bad We Didn't Get Into Cars podcast. I'm your co-host, David Capusha Snow. And joined with me is...
I am Nick Santanado. Scarpinanta.
Nice. And yes, this is our Christmas episode.
And also our New Year's episode, weirdly enough. I'll cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man. Yeah. I don't work Christmas or New Year's Day. Woohoo.
Do you normally? Have you had jobs where you normally work New Year's Day?
I mean, sometimes I do.
Oh.
But not this year, which is very exciting.
Hell yeah, at Dick's?
Yeah, Cox.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're open, but they did not schedule me.
Dick's and Ball Sporting Goods. Wait, so when's the last time that what's the last day that you have to work before Christmas?
Well, I actually work Christmas Eve, so.
What the hell, dude? When do you close?
Eve. I don't know, but I'm out at 3. So
Okay. Could be worse, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, how have you been getting into the holiday spirit, friend?
Actually, today was supposed to be my 8th day straight.
At Dick's.
But yeah, they scheduled me for 8 days straight. But oops, I got pink eye after the first day, so I had to take 3 days off. So
I feel like that's as good an excuse as any to not go to work, let alone 8 days in a row. Which sounds horrendous. Sounds terrible, friend.
yeah, that's horrible. Once the longest streak I ever had was at Walgreens, and I did 9 days
In a
and
row?
By the end of it, I was like wanting to die.
Yeah, I mean anyone would, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that doesn't sound very festive to me. Sounds like a lot of hoopla, honestly.
Sounds like a lot of hoopla. Yeah, bro. But yeah. Anyway, Christmas spirit.
Christmas spirit. If that's not the name of a vodka, it should be. Cause what are you guys doing? What you messed up, honestly. To the alcohol industry, Bryan Cranston, and Aaron Paul. Yeah, you guys messed up big time. God,
Did we ever talk about the time when we tried to meet them?
I think we did, because I remember posting a clip to YouTube, and I found a picture of the two of them, and I found a bottle, like a PNG file of their what is it, tequila? I think it's tequila.
Yeah. Dos hombres.
And I found a PNG arm, and so in the thumbnail I remember being really impressed with myself because I got the arm to almost perfectly hold the bottle. I only mention Brian and Aaron because I'm currently in the middle of Breaking Bad after all of these months.
Fucking finally.
I know it. I had been prolonging it for a really way too large amount of time. And I don't know what it took to finally get me. No, you know what it was? So I finished watching the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime, and I thought, man, dude, I really want David to see this. Oh God, but I still have to watch Breaking Bad, and I still, and I asked you about Breath of the Wild, and I think before Scarlet and Violet came out, the new Pokemon games, I asked you, like, hey, do you think I could finish Breaking Bad in like 2 weeks? And you're like, no, absolutely not. Lo and behold, it has been longer than 2 weeks since I started Breaking Bad again. And it was only then that I realized, I only made it to episode 3, I think, when I tried to watch in college, and then I stopped. So that was interesting. But it's been a good time so far, and then once I do that, I got to finish Breath of the Wild, so my watching TV time, when I'm away from the roommates or they're not home or whatever, and I just have time to kill, has to be Breath of the Wild time. And I think it's got to be video game time for the rest of the year, because I got a bunch of games that I got to finish that I haven't finished yet, and I feel like an asshole about. I still have that Guardians of the Galaxy game sealed. I have not opened that yet.
Damn. That even came out on your birthday.
Yeah, and I haven't played it yet.
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy and Christmas,
Ooh.
Whoa, we're talking the holiday special.
Yes, this is our Christmas-themed episode, so as much as we can, we're going to make all of our topics as Christmas-y as possible.
Yeah.
Starting with the Guardians Christmas special that recently came out at the end of November on Disney+. We're also going to be talking about our favorite Christmas tunes and Christmas music in general, because out of all of the holidays that have music written about them, I would consider Christmas music honestly its own genre, even though most of it is actually just jazz. And the most Christmassy Pokemon games of them all, we're talking Gen 7 of Pokemon, which includes but is not limited to Sun and Moon, and then their sequel games, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, as well as some spin-offs that I have totally already pulled up, and I'm not just pulling up now to save face.
There is no Pokemon game less Christmassy than Gen 7.
Yeah, I mean, for one, they
It's just
take
a
place
tropical island.
Yeah, on which isn't to say that tropical islands can't be Christmassy. I mean, isn't there a tropical island named Christmas Island? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up before Pokemon.
Maybe.
Christmas Island. Oh, it's in Australia. Oi.
But, I think it's Christmassy in the fact that those games gifted both of us something special.
Yes, for very different reasons, which we will get into later at a later point. Wow, this is so bright. I don't think my camera is adjusting.
It's gonna go down.
It's gonna go down. So anyway,
My mom told me to tell you to mind your damn motherfucking business, bitch. 2 + 2 not knowing what the fuck it is, bitch.
your mom said that? Man.
Oh, come on, you don't know what that is?
No, I mean I know it's Kevin Hart. I just
Okay. Just say.
yeah, you would have been pissed. Every major game. Oh man, why didn't I keep this? I did not keep this tab.
Where's the notepad, bro?
I don't have the notepad with me. I keep forgetting it before we film these.
Then go get it.
No,
Go get it, you scrub.
I'm not gonna. No, You just while I'm busy doing this, just I don't know. Tell me about your favorite Christmas traditions. Do you like
Stressing out what to buy. That's my favorite traditions.
stressing out about what to buy?
Yeah, mostly my siblings because they don't like anything.
I think you were telling me that before. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Because I feel like siblings sometimes are the easiest to buy for. I don't know.
Not in my case.
Not in my family.
Not in my life. It's a disaster.
Yeah,
A straight disaster.
that's tragic, dude. You hate to hear it.
I just finished listening to all the this year's newest albums.
Yeah,
At least
well,
that I've heard, obviously.
because you got a video about. I mean, you got a video concerning all of the albums that you listened to in the year 2022, don't you?
Yes, I do. Coming out Friday.
Whoa!
Check it out.
As of the filming
Better-
of this
Better
podcast.
check it out.
Check it out.
We're
Honestly.
talking 24 albums. Let's go.
It's a lot of albums. That's 2 per month, dude.
Yeah.
I may not know 9 + 10, but I do know how to do that math.
And even still, it's not that many. That's honestly.
I mean, it's probably less than 24 hours, because most albums aren't an hour long.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Origami Angel being 10 minutes long.
I think, I was gonna say I think it's less than that, but you might be on the money. On the money. Oh, we haven't talked about the car for today.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So today we got a Mercedes-Benz Unimog U300, which is actually, fun fact, the exact truck that Santa and his forces use when they are moving all of the elf parts and Christmas presents in progress. So I managed to sneak one off the property, and so if Santa comes down your chimney and asks where I am,
Coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney.
you don't know me.
That's all I know from that song.
Which song?
He'll be coming down the chimney, coming down the chimneys.
You can't just
Something like that.
don't just repeat the part that
That's the only part I know. I just told you that. It's the only part I know.
that is on me. You know what? I take it back. That's on me. Well, fuck, dude. I guess we should just jump right into it. I don't know what YouTuber started that I don't know. I don't think it's Vsauce. Well, I mean, because Vsauce says, "Hey Vsauce, Michael here."
Let's go. Fucking trampoline, pogo stick bounce right into this. Changing the game. Let's pogo stick this shit. That's the new saying.
I don't think YouTube needs us to change the game.
Let's pogo stick this shit. Anyway,
So
the Drax and Mantis Christmas special.
it's basically just a Christmas special about the two of them, which in itself is kind of sweet because they are Guardians characters that haven't gotten a whole lot of love, as Robert Plant would put it. But it's another special presentation, so a lot like Werewolf by Night, where it's only an hour long, 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it was like 45.
Yeah, minus the Christmas song in the beginning, written for the special. I forget who the band was, but
The Pixies or something.
I don't think so.
It's definitely the Pixies.
Okay, well. Yeah, and the special follows Mantis and Drax primarily in an effort to get Peter Quill, the Star-Lord, a gift for Christmas, which they find out is, because aliens wouldn't know what the hell Christmas is. So I guess someone explains it to them, and after Peter loses Gamora, he's really... Shut the fuck up! I was yelling at Siri. I'm not yelling at you. I'm sorry.
We are also joined by our other co-host, Thierry.
Siri.
Because we get emotional during the holidays. Some people cry. Thierry. Because we changed our names, so.
I mean, Siri can stay the same. Siri is just she.
No, fuck you, Siri. Get the fuck out of here. This is our podcast.
Get out of here. Vanessa can stay. I haven't seen Vanessa in a while. She said she was going to go get some milk from Ace Hardware and just never came back.
It's complicated.
It wasn't until days, even years later, that I found out they don't sell milk at Ace Hardware. Not by choice, mind you, but I accidentally had something postmated to my door, and it was from Ace Hardware. And on the receipt, it said 2% gallon milk, and then there was a note scribbled very hastily saying, hey, they don't have milk at Ace Hardware. Also, don't tell Nick that I'm running away from home. So, whoever this Nick person is, I hope they're okay. Yeah, I mean, because it sucks to lose someone to Ace Hardware like that.
Wow.
So the Guardians end up putting together this huge Christmas celebration. Drax and Mantis kidnap Kevin Bacon.
Mantis Toboggan.
Who are you?
God, could you imagine?
What do you...
That'd be sick. Bring Danny DeVito into the MCU.
Is Mantis Toboggan... Oh, is that the art collector with the Sia hair? That he...
No, that's the doctor. Dr. Mantis Toboggan. I forget what the episode was, though. How have we not talked about It's Always Sunny yet? God damn it.
That's for next year. That's for 2023, Nick and David.
No, you know what? That's going to be the Matt episode. We're going to bring Matt on here at some point.
Always Sunny. Yeah, we still got to figure out how we're going to do virtual threesomes. Like
Sounds
that.
kinky. Oh my god. Anyway,
we gotta get back on. Yeah. So, what did you think? What did you think?
Like, I thought it was fine. Like, a lot happens for 45 minutes. but it's supposed to be fun, and I think it is. Like there's a couple funny moments, like especially with Drax and calling the gnome the little funny man. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think that was my favorite joke. I'm sure there was something else in there. I don't remember.
When he was beating up on the Transformer on was that Hollywood Boulevard, and there's a whole sequence where Mantis and Drax they're in Hollywood and they're on the the Walk of Fame with all of the stars and stuff, and all of the folks in costume. So obviously you see a lot of Marvel heroes in costume, but you also see someone dressed as what I think is supposed to be a Transformer, and Drax threatens to beat the person in the Transformer costume up because he's, I guess, an alien race that looked like a Transformer killed his uncle or whatever. And then at the very end of the sequence, it's like a 3-minute thing where it's just like a montage of them being stopped to be taken photos of. That was not a good sentence. And at the very last scene, Mantis is taking a photo with some fans. And in the background, you could just see Drax whooping on this dude for like 15 seconds. So it's got some good gags in it. We get to see Mantis fight a little bit, which we didn't really see her do up until this point in the MCU a whole lot. I mean, you kind of saw it with Thanos, but that was just a grapple to, suck on his head.
Yeah.
Big bald Jeff Bezos head. And the Groot stuff is Cosmo. They introduced Cosmo as like an actual guardian of the galaxy, the little dog.
Oh yeah.
And it was adorable, by the way. But he's Russian, and he speaks through like a voice box, like Doug from the movie Up.
Yeah.
And him and Rocket get into some arguments. And speaking of Rocket, he has an interaction with Kevin Bacon where Kevin Bacon lands on the alien planet for the first time, and he walks out of the box, and after the whole, Peter tells Mantis like, hey, break him out of this trance. Kevin Bacon freaks out, and he looks at Rocket, and he's like, what is that? Is that a Rocket's like, hey, how are you? It's good to finally meet you. And he's like, is that a raccoon? And then very quickly, Rocket like jumps at Kevin. He's like, I'll kill you. And it's just the way that Bradley Cooper is a fucking treasure, dude. I keep forgetting that he voices Rocket, and I just keep thinking that Rocket is an actual, like a living thing. Yeah. And then they throw in the plot line that Mantis is Peter's sister because she's one of Ego's kids.
Oh yeah.
And it adds like a layer of emotional depth to the whole thing, which like kind of worked on me. And then you start thinking about it logistically, and you're like, well, why did he keep her around then when he killed all of the other kids who didn't have celestial powers and blah blah blah. But if you don't think about it too hard, I think it's, like you said, it's meant to be fun. I think it serves its purpose pretty well. I think it's a pretty fun watch. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it again before Christmas this year. I don't know if I really want to. I'm
dreading Guardians 3, bro.
Why?
It's gonna be because they're all, half of them are gonna die or something.
Yeah, probably.
Like
I think
even
Rocket's
James Gunn
die.
said, like, yeah, this is the last time the Guardians are gonna be together. And I'm just not ready. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, and then James Gunn is gonna leave us to go cheat on Marvel with DC.
Yeah, James Gunn is currently busy fucking dismantling DC's ass.
Dude, I am so upset that this isn't even about the Guardians Christmas special anymore. It's just about James Gunn. But I am so upset that Henry Cavill isn't going to be Superman anymore. After announcing that he's not going to be The Witcher anymore I'm assuming under the assumption that he was leaving that role to be Superman full time, and now he's not going to be Superman. So it's like, all right, what else? I guess he just announced like today or yesterday that he's going to be a huge part of a Warhammer 40,000 adaptation, which a lot of Warhammer fans are excited about. And Henry Cavill is a big nerd who likes to dabble in nerdy things. So I think his hands are good ones for the Warhammer movie to be about, or show. I don't know what it's going to be, but yeah, man, if Aquaman does well or doesn't do well, that he's going to recast Jason Momoa as Lobo and someone else is going to be Aquaman. No one knows if Gal Gadot is going to be back as Wonder Woman. The whole Justice League is probably going to change.
Yeah,
who knows?
It's just weird because like now with all like those other DC movies, it just doesn't matter anymore. So it's like,
yeah,
like why even bother with them anymore? You know?
Yeah, I guess if their goal is to just start fresh and start a new universe, then it's fine. But honestly, I feel like between this news, all of the Batgirl stuff, and like all of the DC stuff, and then the fact that Phase 4 has kind of been underwhelming. Is the Christmas special part of Phase 4, or is it the first thing in Phase 5?
No, it is Phase 4, but like,
yeah,
it's yeah, it's Phase 4.
It's Phase 4. So the fact that Marvel and DC have been taking some L's this past year makes me cautiously optimistic about the future, just under the assumption that things are going to get better for both properties as time moves on. So we'll see. But we got to.
And it's like, what the fuck is the point of even releasing like, Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Flash? What's the point if it doesn't matter anymore?
Yeah. I mean, as evidenced with Batgirl, I guess you can just cancel them even if the movie's already been mostly made. So it's like,
I mean, yeah, you'll take a financial hit, but Lord knows you're going to recover it.
Yeah.
As soon as you start pumping these new ones out. That's enough about DC.
And kind of enough about Marvel, too. It's the last Marvel thing that we have to talk about before the end of the year.
Yeah, for several months.
For several months.
Anyway, back to Christmas stuff.
Yeah. So,
you know what my favorite Christmas song is?
We're not even going to have like an introductory. No. Just get right into it. Just raw dog the topic. We don't even have to prep.
What was it called again? Oh, Blue All Over. That's my favorite Christmas song.
Aww. All right, I forgive you for not setting up this section. It was very aggressive.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock, swinging from the rocks and skies. I don't know the words.
From the rocks and skies? How big are these fucking bells?
I don't know, man. They're giant.
Like biblically accurate angels. Dude. Anyway, Christmas music. A staple during the holiday season and literally no other time of year, making it the least financially on paper sensible genre of music. And yet it's still around because Christmas happens to be capitalism's favorite holiday. And because of that, Christmas-themed everything runs rampant from the end of November until the end of December. So for an entire month out of our 12-month year.
More like beginning of November.
Yeah. For some people, it fluctuates. I am under the impression that most people start Christmas stuff like either on Thanksgiving or the day after. Like putting up the tree and stuff. But Walgreens and Walmart and Target and all these places start setting up their Christmas stuff as soon as Halloween is done.
Yeah.
And so with that sort of wave of holiday anticipation, we get, honestly, sometimes the worst and best aspect of the Christmas season, which is the music. Because sometimes hearing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You 6 times in one day while trying to...
I never want to fucking hear that song again as long as I live.
No one does. Except for Mariah Carey. Because it makes
we
her
didn't talk
so
about
much
this.
money.
Bro, last year at Discount Tire,
Yeah.
like the second it started snowing, they played that goddamn song on loop for about an hour and a half.
On loop?
Until someone said, shut that fucking shit off. Might have been me, actually.
Did they want to break someone mentally? Just like that's that's the way to do it. I mean, that's got to be some form of torture.
It was obviously a joke. You know, it's Christmas time. Let's just play the song on loop.
Right.
I must have heard that fucking song, I don't know, bro, like 15 times in a row.
Ugh. Icky.
So
like
needless
that.
to say, fuck Mariah Carey.
I mean, I would. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Nick Cannon definitely
Bruh.
did.
Bruh.
Sorry. There was a lot of breath into the microphone just now, so hopefully that doesn't stick out too much to the people listening. Also, don't listen to this podcast with headphones. I think we yell too much for that to be a viable option. You're
Yeah.
wearing headphones?
I am. You don't see these headphones?
I thought those were just your ears.
You thought this was my ears?
Yeah, what do you... They're on the side of your head. Ears are on the side of your head. What...
These
Am I missing something?
Are my ears just solid black?
Ears are what
You're
human
crazy.
beings use to listen to stuff.
No, I'm only wearing these because your audio would come out of my fucking speakers and get into my mic, and then we have an echo. So,
Nice.
this is for you people. You're welcome.
What do you mean, you people? Huh?
So they don't have to
Italians?
hear an echo the whole goddamn episode.
Oh. So, Christmas songs. I don't know, man. I happen to be one of those people that on the outside will criticize people for listening to Christmas music before it's even December. And there's a little bit of truth to my frustration, you know. It's not necessarily that I don't like Christmas, but I fear the passage of time and acknowledging that we're already in December, and let alone at the end of December on the 25th, before the month has even begun, and having to acknowledge that, oh yeah, the year's almost over and the Earth is almost 1 year closer to its inevitable heat death. It freaks me out. So I don't like people listening to Christmas music too early because I'm afraid of my own mortality. I almost said
That
humanity.
is super psychological. I don't like it because it's like I have to deal with that shit for a whole month.
Yeah,
Just shut the fuck up.
that too.
Or do you really need to hear Santa's come to town?
Not really. I don't think you
November.
ever need to hear that unless it's your first time and you need to be introduced to the concept of Santa. And it's like, oh, who is that? Everyone keeps talking about this Santa guy. Like, what does he do? Then you put on a pair of headphones and you have that person listen to Santa Claus is coming to town. Basically describes his whole deal. He's going to be here whether you like it or not. So you just prepare, leave out the offering of milk and cookies. Dude, I feel like I'm just describing Santa from Futurama. What a good... I fucking love the Christmas episodes of Futurama, dude. How, like Santa as a concept is insanely... he's a shady character. He's a dangerous cat. You know, he breaks into your house, steals your food, and gives you shit that you didn't ask for. I mean, I guess the point is...
What are you talking about? You do ask for that shit.
All right, well, I didn't ask for anyone to know my lock combination.
Don't write a list. Get your ass out there, buy it yourself, and then you won't get Santa in your house.
But I like writing lists. I like lists.
Well, then you suffer the consequences.
All right. Well,
We got to talk about music, bro. What's your least favorite Christmas song? Like, traditionally. I don't want some bullshit song off, like, Sting's Christmas album, you know, a song that no one's ever heard.
I was talking to someone about this recently. I think it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm just like, I don't know. So my ideal Christmas song, I like the songs that make you feel like you're lighting a fireplace in your belly, you know? I like the Christmas songs that feel warm and inviting. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is just telling the story of some guy, you know? It's just like it's propaganda, frankly, and it's also annoying as hell.
You know what the weird thing about Rudolph is? Is like, he's lore within lore.
Yeah, it's like first you have to create Santa, and then you have to create his. That'd be like if Yoshi got his own video game.
Yoshi's Crappy World?
Yeah. I mean,
No.
I guess lore within lore isn't weird, but it's just like, when did that song come out? Probably a long time ago. And,
No, because I don't know what movie we were watching, but I was like, why isn't Rudolph in any of these fucking movies?
yeah.
And then Haley was just like, because he's not a real reindeer. And I'm just like, as opposed to the other reindeer that aren't real? But it's true. Like, Rudolph is like a story within the story, if that makes sense. It's like, it's fucking weird.
So like I guess it also comes down to like intellectual properties too. Like, who owns the rights to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? And like, do they own the rights to Santa? I don't think anyone owns the rights to Santa.
No, I mean, definitely not. But like, it's weird because the only time you see Rudolph is like in that weird stop motion
Yeah.
movie.
Which,
Or maybe there's more, but I have not seen him. And we've watched like 15 fucking Christmas movies already.
yeah. Yeah, so that's my least favorite Christmas song. I don't know. When it comes on, I get very angry. Irrationally angry. It makes me want to hit a real life deer, which I know would only be terrible for the population, you know. It's just like, that's not how they should go out. They should go out being eaten.
Yeah,
by a
and you
family
know
of
what
wolves.
can fucking eat my Santa sack?
Quite the visual.
Feliz Navidad can suck my Santa sack.
fuck off, dude.
Fuck
Navidad
Feliz
is a
Navidad.
great song.
No, it's not.
First of
you
all,
know,
it's one of the only Christmas songs that have been popularized in another language. So, you know, hell yeah for representation. But also, it's a jolly ass song.
absolutely. Feliz Navidad is the fucking Kashmir of Christmas music, where it's the same fucking thing over and over again, and it goes on forever.
That is fair. That is
It's two parts,
yeah.
repeated constantly. It never changes.
And the actual parts themselves are very repetitive. I had one of my students sing it during class the other day, and I looked up the lyrics as if I didn't know the lyrics to Feliz Navidad, and I realized, oh shit, it's just Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Prospero año y felicidad, and then we want to wish you Merry Christmas. It's just like,
Yeah, what is that, like 12 words? The whole song?
yeah, and then they just double that, triple that sometimes. Dude, can you imagine like a Grateful Dead version of Feliz Navidad where it's just like 20 minutes and there's like a sax solo in the middle that just goes on way too long?
At least a saxophone would be kind of cool.
All right, don't defend Feliz Navidad now. It
I'm
would
just
be good
begging
if it
for
had a saxophone in it.
anything different in this song. If there was a third part, it probably wouldn't be my least favorite.
Yeah.
But there isn't.
Yeah, it's, again, Christmas songs, there's so many that you could honestly consider it its own genre. I mean, hell, Spotify does, you know? And it's like, I think it's interesting that so many Christmas songs that are standards now were written and are or at least are popularized by like jazz artists. Dude, I remember as a kid, I have a super vivid memory of around Christmas time. I remember what my living room at my grandparents' house looked like, but I would just walk around the house and they would be playing a Frank Sinatra Christmas album, and I remember just the sound of like dinner being made and like the wide space of the living room behind me, and just like walking around and looking at like the CDs that my grandparents had on the wall. And yeah, so I think I'm a little biased too when I'm like, I like jazz Christmas songs, because I directly associate that with nostalgia and happiness in my childhood. But I fucking love like the Christmas song, like Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. I think
That's the one that I like never heard that one.
never.
I mean, I've heard it like, but I never think of that one. That one is like the classic that just completely bypassed me.
I love that song so much. Specifically the Nat King Cole version with the intro on the strings, and it's the banana, you know. I also really like, I guess a lot of artists have written original Christmas songs in modern times, including a crossover artist you might have heard. Not really crossover. Michael Bublé. He's almost single-handedly like keeping jazz on like the Billboard charts, you know. And he's also writing, or like there are original songs that he's singing. But there are two albums that I always listen to when Christmas time comes around. His album, which has a couple of really good songs on it, including the opener, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. That just puts me in the mood, you know, especially today. It started snowing around us, and so driving where I needed to go and listening to that, I was like, it's time. It's the time to do it. But I also really like, there's a Christmas album by Reliant K, who, for those of you who don't know, it's a band. It's like Christian pop punk, and some of it is a little heavy-handed, some of it is more subtle. But they have an album called Let It Snow Baby ... Let It Rain Dear. Like Let It Snow Baby, Let It Rain Dear. It's like a play on words, kind of.
Oh, I see.
Whoa. And they have a song called...
I have visual contact on what they achieved.
I made contact. Yeah, they have a song called In Like a Lion, Always Winter, that I really like. That's an original song they wrote. But what about you? What are your favorite Christmas songs?
Well, like what is your like the definitive favorite?
The Christmas song, the one and only. I mean, it says it in the title. It's the Christmas song, you know?
Unbelievable.
What? Unbelievable?
Yeah, no, Haley thinks I'm crazy because I don't know that song at all. I'm like, who the fuck does?
Make that two people that think you're
The
crazy.
Christmas song. It's like, come on, bro. You can't even...
It's named
name
after the
anything.
holiday. That'd be like if you didn't know the movie Halloween and that it took place on Halloween.
Well, if it was called The Halloween Movie, that would be kind of like whack.
Yeah, if someone put out a song just called Christmas, that's a ballsy move, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but my favorite will always forever be Carol of the Bells. It's the only one that transcends the holiday itself. I would listen to that year round. It's a fucking masterpiece.
Is that the Ding Fries Are Done song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite version because there's 6 million of them.
Yeah.
But just every time like it comes in like dun, 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 I think it's such a good melody. And usually it's just instrumental, which helps.
Yeah. That tracks for you, honestly.
But yeah, I just think it's an actual fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. I like that. I remember when I first got introduced to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, version of it.
I think that's like the most famous one, but
Yeah, a lot of dads like that one. It's like, oh, Christmas, but it rocks, you know? And it's like that's cool. That's the one that I always hear on, like, when I still listens to the radio around Christmas time. It'd be like 97.9 The Loop would play, like, you know, welcome to the jingle hell, and it's like ba ba na na ba ba na, playing
man,
Christmas rock songs 20.
Yeah, there's like metal versions of it, and it just sounds so sick.
Yeah, it is objectively a good composition. I will give you that.
But yeah, others, like, I always like Sleigh Ride too. Sleigh Ride's fun.
Sleigh Ride is fun. I think
every
fun,
time I hear that song, I think of the scene in Elf when he's walking across the street and just gets hit by the car. It's like the most I don't know what the word is, but like it's the most tame, like, getting hit by a car scene I've ever seen in my life.
And there are a lot of those. It's
casual. It's a very casual hit and run.
Yeah, I think that helps. I think it helps to, every time I think of Elf, I think of there's the song that plays when he's like going in the revolving door.
Yeah.
And I always forget like what it sounds like, but every time I hear it I think of Elf. And it's not even a Christmas song. I think it's like it's just a catchy, you know, skibidi bop boop bop.
Yeah.
You know, one of those.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. Anyway. And then once January 1st comes around, I'm never going to listen to Christmas music again. Or at least that's what I tell myself until I'm walking through Walgreens just trying to pick up a goddamn 12-ounce Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear Mariah Carey, or I hear what else is
Santa come to the town.
Oh yeah.
About
Yeah,
the fucking
wasn't it?
Jackson 5.
Yeah. Or the Bruce Springsteen
God.
version.
God, I hated that one.
Yeah, that one's kind of hard to listen to too.
Although they do play Last Christmas at Dick's, and there's a version by Jimmy Eat World I think is pretty nice.
I heard that version recently actually, which is weird that you say that. I will say, as far as like my pop Christmas songs go, I really like Last Christmas. I honestly think it kind of goes a little too long, and they repeat the chorus a bunch of times, but I guess that's part of the reason why it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
So,
Bitch.
you know, if you like Christmas music and you know, and you have any opinions on what your favorites are, be sure to let us know in the comments on the YouTube version of this podcast, and you know, we'll listen to them and then talk about them next year. So.
Oh, yo, you know what else fucking kicks ass? Light shows.
Light shows, yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, I honestly think, I love Halloween, but I honestly think driving through a neighborhood that puts up Christmas lights that are really cool is way, way more fun than going through a neighborhood where there's a lot of Halloween decorations.
There's a house near us where, like, they have you tuned to a radio station in your car, and, like, their lights, like, play to whatever's playing.
That's sick.
There's also a fucking house that's on steroids. Like, there's a house that, like their decorations span, like, 3 houses. Like, their neighbors even get on this shit.
Goddamn.
And it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I gotta show that shit to you.
Yeah. And then we'll do a live reaction
before it stops. Because, yeah, dude, it's like the police have to, like, barricade the fucking streets sometimes, because that's how many people go and see this shit.
Oh my god,
it's wild.
God damn.
But
yeah, Christmas,
that's enough about
Christmas is cool,
Christmas
but
yeah.
I don't want to keep talking about it.
When people go hard on it, like, it's cool.
Yeah. Again, I think it's, at least in America, it's like the most popular. It's the most popular holiday around. It's so popular that even fucking even fucking mobile games will like get in on releasing characters and events in like Christmas costumes, and like Christmas has now been popularized in like Japan and like other countries. I know other countries. I just like the ones next to Japan. Anyway,
What, you aren't familiar with Switzerland's Christmas traditions?
Swissmas?
How about Finland? Yeah, Finland get on that shit.
Finmas?
Finmas.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, they released Christmas units in the My Hero game. They have a Christmas background that they have in Dragon Ball Z. And in Pokémon Masters, they released probably my favorite gym leader, Jasmine, with the Ampharos that, you know, you see her with in the Gen 2 games. Apparently it's not the same one, but, you know.
Did you get her?
No.
Oh.
Did you get her?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Is it time?
I think before we talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon, we have to address the elephant in the room.
Ash Ketchum's retirement.
As of literally
Holy
today,
shit.
as we're filming, the Pokemon Company has announced that in 7 episodes of the anime, the Pokemon Journeys anime, Ash Ketchum will be retired and he won't be the protagonist of Pokemon anymore.
Oh, so he's getting like a 7-episode send-off?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that each episode he's going to see, like, he's already been reunited with his Butterfree and the pink Butterfree, and they have the episode preview for the next one where he's going to see Misty and Brock. And honestly, it kind of gets me choked up a little bit. I don't know, man. It's
Dude, like, despite the fact that, like, literally haven't seen the show in, like, 15 years,
yeah.
like, damn, bro. Siri, get the fuck out of here.
Shut the fuck up.
God damn.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Oh my god. Yeah, dude.
Did you see the promo art they shared too? How it's like an exact callback to like the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a lot of that shit, and they're doing. Listen, I started watching the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, and I watched it in the English dub, and I couldn't take it. And my little sister watches Pokemon Journeys, and through it all, I've been aware of what Ash is up to. Like in Alola, he won the Alolan Championship, so he became a Pokemon champion for the first time, and people were like, "Oh, Ash is a Pokemon champion," you know, but it didn't really count because it was just an Alola. And then they started this show, and the series opens. The first episode of Pokemon Journeys follows Ash's Pikachu, but as a Pichu before he evolves. So it already kind of sets up this, like, finality to everything, you know, because it's, like, giving us the Pikachu backstory after, 25 years? It's like we finally get to, you know, see what Pikachu is all about.
Was he chunky again?
He was just a Pichu. I don't know. I don't think
Chunky Pichu?
Chunky Pichu. Yeah, just a beer belly. But you know, I really liked the Japanese theme song, you know, when it first came out, and yeah, like I said, my sister currently watches it, so she knows all about Go, and she knows all about how he's trying to like catch every Pokemon and complete the Pokédex and all that, and we're just gonna ignore what my hair looks like right now. And those of you listening can't even fucking see it. Looks a little fucked up. But yeah, and then he fought in the Pokemon Masters 8 tournament, which was like 8 of the strongest trainers that Ash had ever met. Like, they were all champions. So you got Lance, Steven, Cynthia, Diantha, Leon, Iris was there, I think. It was pretty much every champion. And he fought against Leon, and he fucking beat Leon in what was one of the most impressive episodes of Pokemon, like, visually I've ever seen. Like, I saw clips from their fight, and they use, like, whack impact frames, and it looks like a legit like anime fight. It's awesome. Yeah, and then Ash won. And so I think there's a clip of Gary actually asking Ash, like, hey, so what are you going to do now? Like, you're the champion, right? Like, what is there left to do? And he's gonna leave. He's gonna go off and, I don't know, settle down with Serena and have some kids. I don't know, man. But it's wild. I found out before you had messaged me, well, because you messaged me this morning saying, oh shit, and I was like, oh shit, what? And then I went home on Instagram and I saw Sarah Natacheni, the voice of Ash in the dub. She made a post saying like, hey, it's been a great 17 years getting to voice Ash, and we're, we get to see the end now. And so now all these people are like, dude, what the fuck? It's just so heartbroken. But I don't know. It's weird.
Ash getting retired after finally become the master, and Vegeta still ain't beaten main villain in Dragon Ball. Damn.
He's gotten close, and he has beaten Goku. Luffy still hasn't become the Pirate King. That's another thing. There was a meme like template that I saw where it was like how many episodes it took before, whatever, and it was like Naruto to become Hokage, and it was like 300 something. It was like going to find his dad, and it was like 100 something. Ash to become Pokemon champion, like 20 years, and then Luffy to become Pirate King, like TBD. And it's like, well, that's a whole other separate conversation. But we have to address it because it's like current events. Ash will forever be my champion, and I honestly might go back and watch Journeys just to see, how far he's come. But with that said, we got to talk about hot take, what I think are my favorite Pokemon games ever, for a couple of reasons. One, I think David's stripping. I think David is stripping into... Was this planned? Did you plan on doing this? Ripping your shirt off? What did that accomplish? Huh? What's going on?
It's time. It's time.
He's wearing a... Okay. Grabbing all the Rowlet memorabilia.
The time is here. The time is now.
I have no idea what drew you to Rowlet so much. But I'm just like... It's honestly super endearing to watch, because I don't think I've seen you obsess over a single Pokemon since like Charmander, and even then it wasn't even that hard.
Bro, I have this guy. I have the shirt. I have another shirt with him in Decidueye. I have a tiny one hanging from my windshield, or the rearview mirror, and I have a tiny charm with him shiny on either side. And I have all three of them like little figures.
Yeah.
What is that? I have like 5 Rowlets, I think.
It's a lot of Rowlets.
Let me tell you about this motherfucker.
Yeah, let's take some time.
Holy shit. Well, he's round.
Yeah.
And his bow tie are leaves. And that's all I need to say.
Yeah, for the record, we both started with Rowlet on our first playthrough of these games, but I think David has earned and deserves the exclusive rights to Rowlet and the Rowlet line. I have since discovered through taking an online quiz that I would most likely, via my personality, be a water fairy type Pokemon, which makes Poplio and Primarina my go-to Alola starter. So the next time I play one of those games, I'm going to have to start with Poplio, which I never thought I'd ever say, but...
I can't get him to stay.
He's camera shy, probably.
No, he's too chunky.
Listen, I'm not saying I would be okay with replacing Rebecca Whoa.
Who's Rebecca? You mean Vanessa?
I can't believe I forgot her name.
Oh my god, unbelievable.
I haven't seen her in so long. Vanessa, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable. All right, you keep talking for a second. I'll try something.
I'm not even going to finish my thought because that would just be the most disrespectful thing I could ever say about Vanessa. And Rebecca, if you're out there and you're watching, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you two, but anyway. Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon, I did not expect to be my favorite Pokemon games. And you know what? Honestly, even the first time playing those games, I didn't make the connection that, you know, they were my favorite. I just don't think it hit me.
Oh my god, I was so bored.
Playing Sun and Moon?
I was so bored with Moon. And then I played Ultra Moon, and I was like, wow, this is kind of kick-ass. I don't know why.
I just remember, so Sun and Moon were the games that came out in the college years. So we had already gotten back into Pokemon in high school with X and Y. Played Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. And then 2016, my sophomore year, I remember going to GameStop the night before it came out, having already downloaded the demo, which you could carry save data over from into the new game. And the demo was really cool because every day of the week, like leading up to it came out like a week before the game came out. Every day there would be a new NPC that would give you a different item that you would have to track down in the demo, and it was only like the one city you could explore. I remember being so hype. And then they announced regional variants for the first time in these games. The sprite models were like 1-to-1, you know, they were like, you know, actual size people, and all of the new Alolan Pokemon looked really cool, and I do think at first I was turned off by the idea that there weren't gyms, but you play the game and you play the trials, and then you get to the end of the game. Spoilers for Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I guess. But you get to the end of the game and you fight the Elite Four, and you find out that, you know, they're trying to establish Alola as a region that has a championship. You become their first champion by fighting the professor, who, by the way, took the Pokemon that your starter is weak to, that you would now have to fight, because normally it's just, I could go on and on about how cool I think these games were, and not to mention the fact that Lily, who is a side character in this game, is actually, this is her story, because the first and last scenes focus on Lily. Like the first, you know, the scene of the game, the entire story of the game, she has this MacGuffin the whole time, this Nebby. And then she's ultimately the one who gives you the box art legendary because, you know, she trusts you with it. And I think they ruin a lot of stuff in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which ironically, based on what you said earlier, make them my least favorite. And I remember being super bored with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but
because essentially it was the exact same game
until like the last, you know, like little bit. But unlike other like third games in a region, you know, like Emerald or Platinum, it fundamentally changes like the story when you get to the end. Because like with Platinum, you have the distortion world, but you still fight Cynthia at the end, and it's pretty much the same. You know, with Emerald, you have the Battle Frontier, and you fight Wallace as the champion. But like the most of the game is still the same, right?
Yeah, besides the badass part where you fight Magma and Aqua.
Yeah.
And then all hell starts breaking loose. And then the fucking cutscene with Rayquaza coming in. Holy shit.
That's a really good cutscene. But yeah, but I think the most important part of Sun and Moon for me, one, from a functionality standpoint, you could use Pokemon Box, which was the precursor to Pokemon Home, and you could use any Pokemon up to that point in Sun and Moon, which instantly raised the replayability of those games for me, because you could just go back over and over with different teams, which I did a couple of times, and that's how I figured out who my dream team was, and that Vaporeon was my favorite Pokemon, of all time. And it was just playing those games that helped me, come to those conclusions. But also, the story of Lily was the first time, I think, ever that I got emotional, like, playing through a Pokemon game. I don't know. There's just something about her journey as a character, and then her ending where she tries to leave to Kanto to start her own Pokemon journey, like, without telling you and how. And then you take the picture at the end together, and, like, the music that plays at the end credits is her theme song. And it ends with, like, that Polaroid photo of all of you, and it's just, like, I don't know, it's really sweet. Yeah, plus in the post-game you get to fight, like, green and red, or blue and red, depending on, where you play the game. And the champion theme song that they recreated for this game, like, when you fight red or blue, it's just, it's so fucking cool. And the battle tree and Alolan Ninetales, I don't know. Again, I can go on forever, but I think I'm going to stop there because we got more games to talk about. But do you have any... Tell me why you liked Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon way better.
I don't know. Maybe it was just the shock of, Base Moon. Like, it was just so different.
Yeah.
Where I was like, yeah, fuck this. But then, going back to it again, the same thing happened with Black. The first time I played it, I didn't give a shit. And then when I just went through it again, I liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, like, if I played Base Moon again, I'm sure I'd really like it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm thinking of doing that with, there's a trend on TikTok going around right now where people are picking out their teams that they would have if they were gym leaders and creating this headcanon where it's like, this is the outfit that I would wear, this is where my gym would be, this is my team, you know, here's the all-star, here's the mascot, you know. And I was thinking, since Sun and Moon have Primarina, which is the starter built for me based on, you know, this one personality test that I took, then I could put together like a hybrid team of like fairy types and water types and just play through it with like a gym leader team. But anyway, regardless, yeah, Ultra Sun and Moon also had the Ultra Wormhole and like the Ultra Beasts.
Oh yeah, dude, I spent so long going through those to get every legendary.
Yeah.
God, that was a nightmare.
Yeah, because that was this generation's way of reintroducing all of the legendaries.
Also, isn't this where Mudsdale came from?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another big plus. Mudsdale's a fucking kick-ass Pokemon.
And Team Rainbow Rocket.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, all of the bosses from the past 6 games before come through the Ultra Wormhole, and Giovanni, you know, recruits all of them basically, and you have to fight all of the bosses from the previous games.
Bro, it's like fucking Pokemon version of Infinity War.
Honestly, and in a lot of ways, Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon really did feel like the end of an era, right? Because they're like the last games that came out, last mainline games that were released on a handheld, like strictly handheld system. And, you know, in a lot, again, it wraps up, it brings back a lot of elements of like the first generation, you know, like with the storyline going back to Lily going to Kanto and training there, and all of the regional variants coming from Kanto, and like your character and your mom literally come from Kanto. You fight the Kanto champions at the end in Ultra Sun and Moon. You know, the final boss is like the boss from the Kanto games, but then every other game in between, and it's like, it feels like a celebration of like every Pokemon game that's come before, which was fitting because I'm pretty sure 2016 was the 20th anniversary of Pokemon.
Yeah,
it was just like, to this day, it's probably my most the most fulfilled I felt going through a Pokemon game. So I will always appreciate those games for what they have done for me as a Pokemon fan, but moving on to the other spin-offs that we might have played. Fun fact, both Smash Bros. Ultimate and the movie Detective Pikachu came out in this generation. But also we have the Let's Go games. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
That was Gen 7?
Yeah, that was Gen 7 on the Switch.
Huh. So Switch was already out. I guess it was 2017.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, what is there to talk about with Let's Go? It basically turned Pokemon Go into a console game.
Yeah. It's the only game I completed the Pokédex in.
Yeah. I know a lot of people shiny hunt in those games, too. Because I think it's easier in those games to shiny hunt because the Pokédex is that much smaller. And, you know, if you just stay in the same area for a prolonged amount of time, then you can find, you know, the Pokemon you're looking for.
And yeah, besides the catching system, like, they're fine. Everyone
They're
bitches
fine.
about these, but, like,
Yeah.
there's nothing really inherently wrong. Plus, it made me really like Eevee. I didn't really care about Eevee until that game came out. So
Yeah, and in retrospect, I feel like those are probably, other than Scarlet and Violet, I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee might have been, you know, the games where, like, I look back on and I'm like, I probably should have gotten Let's Go Eevee, because now I enjoy Eevee way more than Pikachu, but at the time it just felt like the right decision to make. And that was the first time that it ever happened where I was like, maybe I should have gotten the other game, you know, but yeah, I mean, they're good. I like the updated sprites for everything, for all of the gym leaders and all the characters, and, you know, they replace Gary or, you know, Blue with a different rival. And you're not technically Red either. You're a different character altogether.
yeah.
So it's kind of interesting in that way. But they're very open and shut, you know, simple, straightforward games. And then you have some spin-offs, which include but are not limited to Pokemon Quest, which I played a little bit of on the Switch. It's like it's hard to describe because it's kind of like Mystery Dungeon, but not really. It's a pay-to-play sort of game where, like, you go from island to island and everyone is like cubes, and you have to cook certain things to attract certain Pokemon onto your island, and then you use them to defeat bosses who are weak to that type. And I mean, it's fine. I don't know if you can still download it and play it, but last but not least, we have the precursor to what it's known as now, but Pokémon Masters, the original release, came out in August of 2019, before Sword and Shield. And I played Pokemon Masters at launch and was super excited. I remember I was working downtown at the time, like when, you know, we had a month left until the release, and I was like hyping myself up for the game to come out. And granted, I'm still playing it 3 years later, and that feels weird to say that it's 3 years old, but I got you into it. I don't know how.
I remember I actually did try it when it first came out, but I didn't feel like learning another mobile game, so I just stopped playing it.
Yeah, which is
then,
fair.
Yeah, fast forward to the second anniversary, and it's like, oh, they have Shiny Rayquaza coming out with Steven.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine, I'll get it again. And then within like a couple weeks, I pulled Celine and Rowlet.
Yep.
Lost my shit.
And it just cemented that game for you.
Yeah. But honestly, like, with these mobile games that we play, Masters would be like the first one I'd stop playing.
Really?
Yeah. Although it does have the best drop rates out of any of them, by far.
It is.
Oh my
It
God.
is the most forgiving mobile game I've ever played. Not only does it not take you that many summons on a banner to get the pity points to actually pick up the unit, but the actual rates themselves, especially on the master fairs, where like the 5-star rate is like 10% or 12% or whatever. I have gotten most of this year's units that I've gone to like summon for within like 9,000 gems or something, which at this rate, when they started the game, it was really hard to get gems, but I think they realized if they have to release new units this consistently, like they just gotta make gems easier to get. So between the battle villa and all of the story events and like the special rallies that give you like 1,000 gems or whatever just by spending stamina, it's like you end up earning a lot of gems really quickly. So it's that's what keeps me going too, is just how easy it is to get units. And also I'm a sucker for the voice acting, because they give voices to all of the characters and they're all in English, so it's like it makes those characters more personable, and like it really draws the focus to the actual like trainers and their signature Pokemon themselves, which I think is a really interesting aspect. So it's like now whenever I think of like Charizard, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like Red's Charizard, or like, is it Leon's Charizard, or yeah, it's really cool to just like solidify that, in my head. But you really wouldn't delete my hero before Masters?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm actually low-key kind of getting addicted to my hero.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, just because, like, I'm always, like, on clockwork. I'm like, I gotta get this, what's it called? When they, dispatch. I'm like, I'm always trying to get this stamina to, like, level up motherfuckers and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, just fighting... I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm fighting Gentle Criminal, like, a shitload of times to rack up those things, and then I'm about to get him like the DX piece, to bust him up even more. But like, I don't know. It's a lot. My problem with the Masters, it's so annoying to like fully understand, because with the sync grid, and like you got to know everyone's like all their abilities and what every move does, and it's just a pain in the ass. And sometimes I feel like it just does whatever the hell it wants. Yeah. Like sometimes in some matches, like the Ho-Oh and Morty, they tank everything. Yeah. But sometimes they get one-shotted by a move that's not even weak to them. Right. It's so random what the game does, and it's really annoying sometimes with that kind of shit. But yeah, at least the drop rates are really good.
Drop rates are really good. And they put certain characters in new costumes too. I'm a sucker for seeing like color variations, so I like upgrading everyone to like EX rank and seeing their like alternate colors. But yeah, man. So that's Gen 7 in a nutshell. There are a couple of spin-offs that we just didn't play, and there are a lot of like movies that came out in this time. I know The Power of Us and I Choose You came out in Gen 9. Also Pokémon Tournament DX, which I said we would wait to talk about, but yeah, I mean, it's just Tekken, but it's a Pokemon game.
I was really excited to get it, but like I didn't play it for very long, because the fucking Shadow Mewtwo is impossible. It's dumb
impossible,
as shit.
And much like Tekken, it is very technical. So like, it's not a fighting game that you can just like drop into and like play for very long, because like, you gotta learn hitboxes and combos, and sometimes like the input has to be like a specific like window, and it's Tekken, so like Tekken is very technical. It's probably where they got the name from, but
yeah.
It is cool to play as like Decidueye and Scizor and Blastoise and all of these Pokemon. So anyway, next time we're going to be talking Gen 8, which will include Sword and Shield and possibly other things. And then hopefully before January, we're going to talk Gen 9 with Scarlet and Violet. So
I could finally start talking about other games again.
Yeah, right. It's been a wild ride, but honestly, for everyone who's tuned in, I know we kind of did a version of this last week or last episode with the season 2 premiere, but seriously, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening or watching or subscribing or any combination of those, honestly, because it's hard to make content, that personally like I'm proud of, and the fact that we're this far in and this many episodes in is really cool. And we get to just talk candidly to each other, and and try to be funny and try to keep people entertained. And the fact that y'all are sticking around is proof that it's working. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. 2023 is going to be a big year, and we're excited to share everything that we got in the works for you with you. But until then, I got 15 seconds until my camera shuts off.
Yeah, honestly, I have like 30 seconds.
All right. Well, do you have any final words?
Come to my other channel. Watch my videos.
Watch his videos. Watch mine.
The road to 700 subs. Let's go.
Woo! And my camera went out, but we will see you in the new year. So have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. See you in 2023.
Bye-bye.